My project for today is to get everything out of my boat, take an inventory. Now I have 3 main storage boxes in my boat, and then over here I have my rod locker. So I have to be very efficient in how I do my tackle in order to get all my tackle in those 3 storage boxes. And by the way, this here is a live well. I rarely use it because I generally don't fish tournaments. There is a tournament coming up in November that I'll be fishing in, and I'll talk more about that at another time. But what I got to do is make sure it's efficient. So we'll go over here, and everything on the table here was in my boat. And I'll show you here, after I get everything all organized, how I organize my my tackle. Just makes things a little easier to find when I'm out on my boat. Hey everybody, it's Dalton. I started this thing on basically bass basics. Last video I did was rod, reel, and line. Today I'm going to talk about baits. The next video I'm really looking forward to, I'm going to have it out in a week or two. It's going to take me a little bit of time to put together. And that's how I find bass, which to me is the hardest part of bass fishing. Catching them is the easiest part. So today I want to talk about baits. I want you to think about 2 things. The word presentation and retrieve, because every bait is affected by that. Let me give you an example. Let's take you, the #1 selling bait of all time is a 5-inch Yamamoto Senko. Okay, this bait is designed to work slow. There's an old saying, you can never work a worm too slow, but you can definitely work it too fast. So retrieve is important. You might have a crankbait, maybe a little swim bait like this, where you can work it along a little bit faster. But the key to fishing to me is to make sure that you have the entire water column in your arsenal, from top, bottom to the middle. And the best way for me to show you this is to show you how I'm set up for tomorrow. So I and my wife get a little bit closer. So let's start with the top. Tomorrow I'm probably going to open up with a little River to Sea Whopper Plopper. This is the 90, the small one, and this is for top water. For the middle of the water column, you can use different types of crankbaits. They go in all different depths, but in this one here I'm going to use a little live target swim bait, because I'm finding that a lot of the shad out at the lake are starting to get about this size. And one time I caught a really big bass on this. For a little more shallow water cranking, I'm going to use a square bill. Okay, square bills are great. If you're a shoreline fisherman, unless you're in a really deep lake that you can get to from the shore, I would go with more shallow type crankbaits, and I think you're going to be a little more successful that way. Now, another thing that will cover the middle of the water column, the top and even the bottom, is a little soft jerk bait. Okay, this is a Big Bite Bait jerk minnow. It's my favorite one. It's real heavy. It's a 5-inch. A little soft jerk bait is outstanding. And remember, on all my videos, I cover baits that cover all the water column. Let me show you one here that I think is really neat. The crawdad activity at this lake is really picking up. So I took a little Zoom Speed Craw, green pumpkin red flake. It looks just like a little crawdad. I put a little O-ring on it, and I glued a little nail in there for weight. And I'm going to Nico rig this tomorrow, because I can bounce this off the bottom, and I want to see what the reaction to this is going to be in terms of those crawdads. Now, I opened my video with kind of going over some of the baits that I had laid out, and I want to talk to you about how I do my tackle system. Like I say, I've only got 3 storage boxes in my boat, so I have to be efficient. So I had my wife just kind of go over here and just kind of take a look at this area. When you first saw it, everything was laid out. And the way that I lay out my tackle is I use freezer bags. These are for drop shot. These are little Yum Pulse swim baits. These are the Zoom Speed Craws. And what I do is I just label all these so I can quickly get to them. Now my hard boxes. This box right here has all my square bills, various depths of crankbaits. This one here will have my lipless crankbaits. This one here, and I'll open it for you, except for the one that I accidentally put in there, are my jerk baits. These are my hard jerk baits, okay? These are swim baits, little break baits that I have. This box right here has a whole bunch of various swim baits in it that I can use, and every once in a while one of my lures will get away from me there, but I have all these little swim baits, okay? This is my topwater box, where I've got frogs, poppers, walking style baits, whopper ploppers, Berkley choppos. I got everything I need in here for topwater fishing. And then right here, this box has a lot of my tubes, my bladed jigs, a lot of my other various types of jigs that I like to fish with, and so I use my hard boxes for these things. Right here is my spinnerbait box. This is where I have my various spinnerbaits, okay? I call this one my Texas rig box, okay? I've got a variety of hooks in here, and then if you turn it over to the other side, I have various little bullet weights and that kind of stuff for my Texas rigging. Now, in my opinion, the most important box you can have is your terminal tackle box. So this right here is a box where I keep all of my little hooks, jig heads, swim bait hooks, little nail weights. You hear me talking about the little nail weights? These are little nail weights. You can order these. These are my goby heads. You know I like fishing with tubes. I even got a little bit of crappie stuff in here, but I keep everything in there, and that's my terminal tackle box. To me, that's my most important box. I have a lot of money, believe it or not, in this box. And then of course over here, I carry various types of line for leaders. Now, what I want to show you is I keep a little spool of 40-pound test braid. Now, there's a reason for that. Sometimes you're going to get a hook. If you fish enough, you're going to get a hook. The hook's going to generally get underneath the skin. Now, the old school way of taking a hook out was you pulled it back through the other end, you cut off the barb and took it out. You don't have to do that. Unless the thing's so deep that you have to go to the hospital, if you're just skin hooked, really easy to get out. You take some braided line, you wrap it around that hook, and you pull it out the same way it went in, and you'll hardly feel it. So you should have some braided line for that reason, just in case something happens, because it has no stretch. So this is pretty much how I do my tackle system for my boat. I got some stuff hung up out here. I need to hang up more of these boards. I have a whole lot more stuff inside the house that I've got in boxes. You don't have to do this like I do. I mean, I'm kind of a tackle addict. Okay, I've been collecting this stuff over years, and my favorite swim baits over here. These are the Strike King Rage swimmers in all different sizes. So, you know, you just got to find what you like, figure out how to put it all together, and it's going to help you get to your stuff. Well, I hope this video helps. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.